What's happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. I hope you are doing fantastic today. In this video, we are going to be talking about every button lock that I've been able to buy in the last 2 years. So about 2 years ago, I had this obsession with the Malibu, and I just had to get one. I could never, ever get one. Finally, I was able to acquire an all black Wharncliffe version, and then I ended up selling it, and I was able to find this one, and I am not going to be getting rid of this one. But before all of that, I couldn't get the Malibu, but one knife that I could get that I didn't know at the time, but it was extremely, extremely hard to get. The ProTech Mordax, especially the all blacked out version, it was it happened that I was very lucky in the right place at the right time. And shortly after I did buy this, you couldn't get them anymore. I got one of the last ones that I know of, and they were gone, and they did a Magna Cut run, and those are out now. But the 20 CV all murdered out is just a fantastic display of a budget, or not a budget, a button lock that is extremely well done. And then I was like, man, the Malibu is better than the Mordax. Why aren't people raving about the Mordax? And that's when, shortly after, I was able to snag my first Malibu. And I wouldn't say that the Malibu is better. They are unique in their own rights. They have different handles, extremely different blade shapes on both of the Malibu versions. The other one is more of a Wharncliffe. Uh, they're both modified Wharncliffe sheep's foot blades. This is more of a sheep's foot style, whereas the other one's more of a Wharncliffe style. It comes down to a droppier point than this one does. So they're completely different knives. As far as action goes, I think they are both absolutely fantastic. Uh, just flipping this big old blade out of here with a flipper tab, the action. There was a time where I would see how many of these I could do in like 30 seconds. And believe it or not, it's a bunch. When you really get the rhythm down, you can drop this thing and flick it up. Now, under a camera, of course, it won't be as easy, but these were literally two of the first button locks that I ever acquired, two of the first three. And then I went on a budget style button lock craze for the last year and a half or so. I have been buying up as many button locks as I could get. Now, I don't have every button lock that's come out in the last 2 years, but I do have quite a few of them. So we'll go ahead and put these guys away, and we'll dive into some more button locks. So the CJRB feldspar White Mountain Knives exclusive button lock was, I think, the next one that I got. And I have heard all kinds of different things about this button lock, and there was different versions. I opted, luckily, for the black micarta, which is very well done. The blade is an ARPM 9 steel, dual thumb studs. This thing, you got an anodized pivot collar. I don't know if I got lucky or if other people were very unlucky, but this thing has an incredible spring detent. I mean, you can literally wind up on this guy and it drops shut. The action on this button lock is absolutely outstanding. I never understood what happened with other people's. A lot of people I heard say they had some sort of issue or another with this knife. And I have a video out, it's old at this point, talking about how this knife is not bad. I think it's exceptionally well done everywhere. You have a nice recessed deep carry pocket clip, rollover, lots of room, open construction with milling done inside. It's reversible. They missed on the filler tab, but that's about the only part of this knife that they missed on. I think it looks outstanding. The RPM 9 blade, guys, you've heard me say it time and time again. It's phenomenal, and it punches way above its weight class. I don't know if these are still available, but the CJRB feldspar was their first dive into button locks, I believe, and I think they crushed it, in my opinion. I'm not sure what happened with other people's, like I said, but this thing is awesome. The detent is perfect on mine. It's nice and stout. Very, very well done. I still to this day do not understand what happened. And that leads me into a couple more CJRBs. This was the next one that I got. This is the Pyrite Drop Point. Then the Warncliffe Pyrite. Very recently, the CJRB Cord. Now, I do also have an Echo, but I opted for the liner lock in green micarta, and there's a reason for that. It's because I have the Knife Center exclusive CJRB Echo button lock on order, so I'm waiting for that currently, but I will have that eventually. CJRB, in my opinion, does the absolute best budget button locks in the game over Vivi, over Kaiser. As of right now, I have not had any plunge lock failure with any CJRBs. They always have good action. I love their designs. You know, even drop point to drop point, they're different. I love what CJRB has been doing over the last year or two. They don't pump out a ton of models. More so this year now they are, but the last 2 years or so they really didn't put out a ton of stuff. But this year is a different story. They put out the Warney Pyrite, the Cord, the Rift. I mean, they're doing all kinds of different things this year, and I love it. I think CJRB, in my opinion, is definitely one of the, or if not the best. They are definitely up there. I think they are the best, in my opinion. Let's go ahead. We'll get these out of the way, and we'll check out some more button locks. Next up, we have a couple of Vastied button locks. This is the Vastied Valkyrie here. And this is the Vastied Raccoon, the infamous Vastied Raccoon. Plunge lock failures, issues like that. Now, it won't just close on you. Some have. Mine, it won't just close on you. This is a good light duty knife, you know, for very light tasks. Same as the Valkyrie. Now they have revamped their plunge lock supposedly, and it is definitely better. I absolutely love the raccoon design. It was such a downer that the plunge lock was failing like it was. You have a beautiful drop point blade coming in 14C28N. Great machine, satin, dual thumb studs, recessed button with a barrel around the button. Great micarta backspacer, recessed screws and pocket clip there. Filler tab, so it's left hand friendly. Just an ultimate great design with just one catastrophic issue. Now, the Vastied Valkyrie suffers the same fate, coming in 154. I love this design. I love this knife, but it's another one of them very, very lightweight, light duty knives. Warncliffe blade, black wash, dual thumb studs, recessed button, no barrel, even though this came out after. I don't know why they didn't put a barrel. left or right hand carry, recessed, no filler tab. Great button locks in their own right, except for the plunge lock issues. You know, they're good slicers, they have good steels, good materials, just miss slightly on that plunge lock. Let's go ahead and we'll jump into some more button locks. We got a bunch to go through, and I don't want this to be a 30-minute video, but these are very good, and they're revamping them so that they're even better and they have a stronger lockup. So, you know, hopefully that's the case. I don't know that for sure because I haven't bought another one. But I think that they probably did change things around. Let's go ahead and check out some more. Next up, we have a very unique design. This is a boutique company. This is Orion Knives. This is the Solaris. You have raindrop, carbon fiber, very, very well executed. I installed a lime green or green kit on this one. I think originally it was blue, or red maybe, but I opted for the green, and these are aftermarket scales that you can get. I went with the black wash blade. This bad boy is in 14C28N, I'm sorry, and it is exceptionally well done. You have this massive finger choil here that you can choke up on. The rear choke up is very good as well. You can get a full purchase. It's a bigger button lock, and it has studs and a flipper, and they are both executed very well for a button lock. You know, and this was a while back that this was designed before, you know, a lot of these other button locks came this one, and very well executed for having studs and a flipper tab. Typically, one or the other feels light, and in this case, they both feel very well done. The Orion Solaris is a game changer in its price point. These are like $100, I think. Now, if you add all the aftermarket goodies, the price will go up, but I think it's well worth it. It's just very well done. I need to carry this more. Love this knife. Let's go ahead and check out some other ones. So are you ready for this? Shablam, shablam, shablizzy blam, shabliggity blam blam, bliggity, and jiggity. Those are all the Vivi button locks, I think, that I have anyway. So this was the very first one that I acquired. This is the original Elementum button lock. I love this knife. I don't like that the button is the only means of deployment, but for what it is, it works exceptionally well, and it's bigger than your standard Elementum. You're getting this beautiful 14C28N drop point blade, very well finished micarta, great micarta. Vivi was at the top of their build game when they made this knife. This was the very first one that I got. Then this guy came along. This is the Cogent, and this thing has extremely good flipper action. For a budget button lock, the detent is very well tuned. This one is also coming in 14C28N. Very small, written on the flipper tab. Everything else on the blade is there's nothing there. It's completely free of any markings other than the steel. I appreciate that. Jade G10, all blacked out hardware. Then the next guy that came up for me was the Altus here, and I have beat the piss out of this. Then my fiance took it over as an EDC, and she beat it up, uh, and it's held up very well. This one's coming in Nitro V. This is a little smaller, but it's still very, very snappy. and it's a good EDC, especially in Nitro V. Nitro V is a good, budget to mid-range steel, and this thing is snappy as ever. It needs some tuning and some cleaning and some other stuff, but even through all that, it is very snappy. Then came the Chevalier, which is right here. This is a flipper and fuller design. This one is coming in 14C, I believe. Yes, 14C, stone washed, sheep's foot, black G10, deep carry clip, recessed screws. It's reversible. Uh, for what this is a good budget button lock, good materials, good build. This is probably the sloppiest of them all, but that might be just mine. And then this guy, the Conspirator, came. And this one's got a little lighter of a spring detent, especially compared to the Cogent, but it's a beastly drop point. You have this bead blasted stonewashed Nitro V blade. I opted for the wood handles on this one, and it's a great EDC. It's a beast. It's probably the biggest out of all these, and I really like it. It doesn't get much carry time anymore just because I have so many other knives to carry, but I definitely get it out once in a while and carry it. And then the newest one is this guy here, the Cubit. Red aluminum, 14C, 28N on the blade steel. It's coated, nice leaf-shaped blade, dual thumb studs. There's a unboxing of this up on the channel. Recessed clip and screws. The only part I feel like they missed on was a filler tab here. They should have put a filler tab here, a black one, in my opinion. It would have really set this knife off, I think, instead of having this big milled area for the clip. I'm glad they do that for lefties, but aesthetically, I think they could have handled that better. So let's go ahead and check out a couple more button locks. Next up is one of my all-time favorite button locks, period, the Hogue EXO1, USA made, 154 cm on the blade, drop point, stone washed, overbuilt beast of a knife. You can even lock this guy open, make it even stronger so that button cannot be pushed. You have a nice barrel around the button. This knife does not get enough play from other people for a button lock. I literally, when I tested my button locks, I have a video up on that as well. I'll try to remember to link it. But I was hitting wood so hard with this that it was literally chipping the wood out with the spine and not breaking that plunge. They designed this so very well. The only thing that I would change on this knife is the pocket clip. It works extremely well. It's very comfortable in hand. I just wish that, and I don't mind non-deep carry knives, but in this case, on this one, I would prefer it to be deeper, and I'm pretty sure there's aftermarket clips for it. I absolutely love this knife, though. Knowing it's Hogue, 154, the edges they do, the build quality, aluminum scales. This thing is just a powerhouse button lock. Doesn't get enough play. Let's go ahead and check out a few more. All right, you ready for it? Boom. 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 And boom. So we have the Kaiser knives that I have as button locks. We have the original in 154 cm with a black blade, green aluminum, deep carry, clip, not reversible, nice and clean. This did fail the plunge lock test, but it's a nice lightweight light user EDC style of knife. You won't have any issues with it closing just out of nowhere, but I would by no means use this knife hard. The sway back was next, and this did pass the spine whack test, believe it or not. 3 of them. If you go watch that plunge lock video, you will hear all the stats and all the testing I did. And then we have the Kaiser Beglighter XL. This did fail the plunge lock test, but it's a beast. I still love it. It's got good lockup without spine whacking it. I've had no issues with it. 154 cm blade steel, drop point, brown burlap micarta, deep carry clip that is reversible. This thing is massive. And then we have the Kaiser Cormorant White Mountain Knives exclusive. This guy comes in 3V, burlap micarta, deep carry, reversible pocket clip. And then 2 of my favorite button locks, period. We have the Kaiser Dam Designs Mad Tanto with a 154 cm stonewashed Tanto blade. Beautifully done, executed so well. Ultra deep carry, steel rollover clip. You have a barrel around your button. Excellent execution of that flipper tab. I could do this all day. This will make it to the end of this year as one of the best budget button locks, if not the best one of the year. And then the Clairvoyant, which is a newer one from Kaiser as well. This is more on the premium side of things. S35VN. It's a Munko Knives design, stonewash, sheep's foot, upswept blade. Great execution on this knife. You have titanium bolsters, carbon fiber inlays, titanium pocket clip. Love this design. It's ultra comfortable, ultra unique, jimping up the spine. That will wrap it up, guys. I'm sure there are some that I am forgetting, but I'm pretty sure that's all of them. I don't know how many that is. I know it's quite a few, but the moral of the story is button locks are awesome. They're fun. Uh, by no means are button locks my favorite lock, but I really enjoy them. There's just something about being able to disengage a knife with just a button. Something I find just fantastic about it. I really enjoy button locks. I enjoy all locks. There's some days I feel like carrying a button lock, some days a frame lock, liner lock, crossbar lock. It just depends on the day. But I really love button locks, and I love seeing how far they have come over the last 2 years for the budget side of things, going into the mid-range side of things. Even the Malibu failed the plunge lock test that I performed. The Mordax did pass. I'll try to remember to link that video up here, maybe here at the very end. But they are correcting the issues across the board. It's a well-known fact now that companies were having issues with their plunge locks. I think it just had something to do with how it was locking up in the tang or how it wasn't properly locking up in the tang. But I think they are correcting it now. The moral of this story is, guys, get yourself a button lock if you don't have one. They are absolutely fantastic. If you want a video of recommended button locks to pick up, leave it down in the comments. Let me know what you want to see next. If you want to see more content from old G-Ball, you can click here, or here. If you're new and you are not subscribed, click that G-Ball Vision logo. I would love, and I just mean absolutely love it if you were to join me here today. Give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next one.